Hi, this is Julian. It is Sunday, October 30th, 2011, day before Halloween. I have my festive fall decorations here to set the mood. I guess the mood is pumpkin. We've been cooking pumpkins today, so it's a good day for it. Anyway, that has nothing to do with this video. What I'm starting with today is voice changes. A lot of guys say the first thing they notice with their voice changing is they feel like they're getting a cold, their voice is a little scratchy and off. Well, I'm an overachiever. Instead of just feeling like I was getting a cold, I actually got a cold. So I've been congested all week, and I think this voice clip is going to be pretty much useless in terms of voice comparisons from the previous clips onto the next one. But it is what it is. This is what my voice sounds like right now, mostly due to the cold, I imagine. I might try and record a video next week just to get a more accurate clip, but, you know, in the long run it doesn't really matter. What I did notice with my voice was that in the third week, just before I got sick, at the end of the day, as I was getting tired after a long day at work especially, I would notice that my voice seemed to be catching. It would get caught, so to speak, in my throat, and I couldn't raise the pitch. It wasn't so much that I could hear it dropping, but I couldn't raise it. If I was trying to sing a little bit or just talk, it was stuck in basically at the bottom of my range. So I think those are the early steps of the voice changing. We'll see what happens after I get over this cold. Next thing that's perhaps one of the more obvious changes, in a very, very subtle way, of course, is hair. I am Italian. I've had a mustache for years. And what I've noticed is the mustache is coming in a little faster than it used to, and a little more fully. It still looks like an Italian woman's mustache, but it's starting to come in. Same thing with the soul patch and the front of the beard. I had a few hairs there. They seem to be coming in more plentifully and more quickly, but nothing that anybody sees without getting up close and personal. It feels like the sideburns are coming in with some peach fuzz more than usual. My partner says that it's a bunch of hooey and they've always looked like that, which may be the case. I probably had a little more there than I did here, so the difference, between shaving here and here is it just grows faster here. It's early on, we'll see what happens. The one other bit about hair that I keep obsessing over, because it's what I do, is the unibrow. I don't know how you guys manage to keep the unibrow at bay, but it is coming in like crazy. So, I'm tweezing it and hoping for the best, but it's a pain in the butt. Muscle changes. I haven't noticed a lot in the way of muscle changes, but I haven't been doing any resistance training. This is Squeaker, by the way. She insists, like most pets, on being part of the video, so we'll try and keep her out of the way without distracting too much. I do apologize. I always get annoyed when other guys have pets in their videos, but they seem to rule our world. Anyway, muscles. Not a whole lot. My partner wanted me to flex, so there's a flex. What I did notice is I started my tea right as summer was ending, so I started wearing a lot more clothing so as not to freeze. Therefore, I don't see my muscles as much. I don't think a whole lot is changing. I haven't been doing any resistance training with being ill. I haven't been riding my bike and walking, so not getting a lot of exercise at the moment. I hope to start up again soon. But once I do some resistance training, the muscles might get bigger. What I have noticed muscularly is that I've had a lot of muscle tension, especially the first week or two, but even since then. That first week I was just so tight and sore all the time. I had become a bit lax in my stretching routine and in doing yoga, so I got back into that, which helped a great deal as expected. But this was beyond a lack of stretching. It was just the muscular tension from the testosterone really making things annoying. That has abated somewhat, and I think hopefully we're settling in. See what happens when I start actually doing some lifting. Other changes, much more subtle, not that these aren't also subtle, Had very, very mild acne. It looked like a few bumps here and there. I didn't even know it would be considered acne, except that my partner said, yeah, that looks like acne. I used Dr. Bronner's Castile soap for all my cleansing needs, and I happened to look it up to see if it would hurt the acne, and some folks said it's actually a good product to use to keep it at bay. So I will happily keep using my nice eco-friendly pepperminty Dr. Bronner's, and we'll see what it does. Hopefully I can maintain my lovely complexion throughout this process, but I'm not hopeful. Fat and weight. In general, I always carried my weight right here, and I still do. Not my weight, my excess fat. And I had very little on the hips. Squeaker, you're adorable, but you're interrupting my demonstration. What I noticed right here on the hip bone, I never thought I had much there, but in the past few days when I touch it, all I feel is bone. So something must have been there and has since redistributed itself. Other than that, I'm not noticing much. Still got the inner thigh going on. And I don't know if my waist is any bigger than it was or not, but it's early on. Relatedly, with weight, my weight has actually stayed quite consistent on a weekly basis, actually a bi-weekly basis. With my shots, it has stayed consistent in that where I was the day of my shot, I was very close the day of my second shot and my third shot. Within that cycle, though, what's happened is it'll go up with about 5 pounds within the first few days and perhaps stay there, then drop precipitously right before my next shot is due. There's only been 2 cycles so far, so you know, it's not really enough data to make any conclusive statements whether that's what my weight's going to do. But I haven't gained much weight yet, basically. A lot of guys talk about hunger. I have not, thankfully, since I'm trying to keep my weight down, had a great deal of hunger. What I did notice early on, and still happening, is that my mental hunger, my cravings, and my desire to just want to eat has increased, but my physical hunger, my belly, is not telling me to eat, which makes it easier for me to resist as long as I'm mentally in a good place. So that's part of why I think I've been able to not gain a whole lot of weight in this past month. The only other thing to really mention would be moods. I thought my moods were great. My partner has said that I have become a bit more impatient. It's very likely that that is the case. I haven't seen it myself, but everything I've heard said, listen to what your partner says because they can see what you can't. So I'm going to try and work on the patience thing, and other than that, I haven't noticed a lot of mood swings, at least, or any mood swings. Not that my family wants to hear about my period, but it came a little early, and the day I took my third shot, it shut right off, so I'm excited about that. Hopefully that's the last one. If it is, it is. If it's not, it's not. The one remaining thing is I love words, I love using words, and I've really had an inability to find words. I can't pick the right word out of my head all the time, and it's really challenging to complete sentences. At work, I'm trying to say something, and it just falls right out of my head. So that's a challenge for me. But it's one of those things with all the mental changes that the testosterone will cause to simply get used to it and, you know, work around it. So that is my 1 month update. Squeaker, say hi to all the nice people since you insisted on being in this video. That's 1 month, and we'll see you again sometime in the next month. Have a good